The Master's Mysteries. Tales of Magical Mastery. Episode 21. Go to hell, you dead man. Old Dao, you guys step back. The tiger lady, who seems to be a man but has a woman's spirit, came to kill. She swung her fist and charged forward. Liao Fengyi hurriedly shielded Old Dao and Xia Sha behind him, and met the attack. The tiger lady didn't care who she was fighting against, and as soon as she charged up, she attacked Liao Fengyi with both fists and claws. Before figuring out the opponent's strength, Liao Fengyi did not easily make a move. He dodged and observed the opponent's moves and routines. But after watching for a while, Liao Fengyi found it strange. This tiger lady knew some martial arts, but it was just ordinary. This big guy, other than being sturdy, didn't seem to have any other abilities. How did he become the #1 assassin of the immortal sect? The closer the battle, the more Liao Fengyi felt the discordance in his body. It was like his soul could not control his body, and it was particularly awkward. If this was his ability, it would be easy for him to deal with him with his own abilities. Seeing this, Liao Fengyi was ready to fight back. He ducked his head to dodge the opponent's fist, then quickly jumped in front of the tiger lady. Although the tiger lady's offensive moves were fierce, her defense was very poor. At this moment, her front door was wide open. Liao Fengyi seized the opportunity and kicked her hard in the chin. The force of Liao Fengyi's kick was indeed not small, and it kicked the nearly 2-meter-tall tiger lady several meters away. Is this the first assassin of the immortal sect? But because he had some doubts in his heart that the opponent should not be so weak, Liao Fengyi always kept his eyes on him, afraid of changes. But seeing that guy lying on the ground without moving, he walked towards him. "Hey, what are you doing? Get up. If you want to sleep, go home." What made Liao Fengyi strange was that he had walked up to him, and the guy was still lying on the ground motionless, which made Liao Fengyi doubt whether his kick was too heavy and killed him. But at this time, Liao Fengyi suddenly felt a heavy killing intent coming from his back, stimulating the hairs on his back to stand up. Liao Fengyi knew that there was danger behind him, so he turned his head sharply and felt a strange yin wind coming to his face, and there seemed to be a red shadow in the wind. Liao Fengyi did not dare to neglect, and quickly put his arms in front of his chest, and suddenly a huge force hit his arm hard, and a cold breath rushed up his body. This invisible force knocked Liao Fengyi down, and because things were too strange, Liao Fengyi hurriedly rolled up and guarded against the void. But at this time, a dangerous breath came from behind him again. With all his strength, Liao Fengyi twisted his body and found that the tiger lady, who was lying still on the ground like a corpse just now, was standing behind him at some unknown time. At such a close distance, even if Liao Fengyi were an immortal, he could not dodge it and had to bear this kick. Immediately, Liao Fengyi's body flew out, sliding 5 or 6 meters on the ground before stopping. "Kid, how are you doing?" "Master." Seeing Liao Fengyi lying on the ground without moving, Old Dao and Xia Sha thought he was injured and hurriedly ran over. But in reality, Liao Fengyi was pondering over what was really going on. Suddenly, Liao Fengyi made a fierce move to get up from the ground. A bolt of lightning passed through his mind, and everything suddenly became clear. "So that's it. Old Dao, I'm fine. You guys step back a little." However, the tiger lady on the opposite side didn't want to give Liao Fengyi a chance to breathe, and she pressed forward step by step. Liao Fengyi didn't wait for the tiger lady to come close. He stretched out his left hand and quickly made several hand signs. Then he made a sword with 2 fingers, gently passing it in front of his eyes. This was a simple ritual to open the heavenly eye. "Kid, what did you discover?" "As I thought." As soon as he opened his heavenly eye, Liao Fengyi looked forward again, the corners of his mouth raised. Seeing that Liao Fengyi seemed to have discovered something, Old Dao was even more confused. "Old Dao, you guys retreat quickly. However, there was no time to explain at this time. In Liao Fengyi's eyes, the malicious ghost of the Tiger Lady was currently attached to the body of the second master, controlling his body and charging fiercely again. Now that he understood, he would not be passive again. Liao Fengyi steadied his mind and prepared for the fight. The Tiger Lady threw a punch. Liao Fengyi instinctively raised his fist to block, but at the same time, he also noticed that as soon as he blocked the punch, the other fist of the Tiger Lady swung up. Quickly, left punch and right claw fiercely attacked Liao Fengyi. It was like facing a four-handed monster. This move was really vicious. If he hadn't opened his heavenly eye, he wouldn't be able to dodge. No wonder the Tiger Lady is the #1 assassin of the immortal sect. This human ghost pair cooperated perfectly, never giving their opponent a chance to breathe. One move was sharper than the previous, one punch was more ruthless than the previous, and for a time, Liao Fengyi was flustered. At this time, Liao Fengyi couldn't help but feel anxious. Although he had understood the situation, he had not yet thought of a countermeasure. He was nearly defeated several times, and he could only fight while retreating. At this time, his foot slipped. It turned out he had stepped on a wooden stick. Liao Fengyi cursed his bad luck silently, but his body had already lost balance. With the enemy attacking in front of him, he could only twist his body as hard as he could to dodge the attack. The enemy missed the attack and regained its original form. Liao Fengyi finally stabilized his figure. At this time, he noticed that he had stepped on something, which made him feel enlightened. Go to hell, kid. The Tiger Lady knew that Liao Fengyi was at the end of his rope and pounced on him again with a sneer. But at this time, Liao Fengyi seemed to have a plan. He picked up the hemp rope that had tied up old Dao, bit his middle finger, and smeared his blood on the rope. The Tiger Lady didn't know about Liao Fengyi's tactics. Seeing him unmoving, she rushed forward. When the Tiger Lady was only a foot away from him, Liao Fengyi twisted his body and flashed past, at the same time throwing out the hemp rope in his hand. This throw was extremely accurate. The hemp rope made a knot in midair and accurately looped around the neck of the Tiger Lady who was pouncing on him. Seeing that it worked, Liao Fengyi used both arms to pull the hemp rope taut. This move choked the Tiger Lady's neck tightly. Liao Fengyi's blood, being of a heavenly master, has the effect of trapping the undead when smeared on the hemp rope. No matter how strong she was, she couldn't exert her strength at this time. Her physical body was being choked to the point of screaming. The Tiger Lady's spirit wanted to leave the body to attack Liao Fengyi in order to escape the bind. But he thought too simply. At the same time as applying the blood of a heavenly master, Liao Fengyi also cast a spell on the hemp rope. Now, the rope can no longer be called a rope. It should be called a corpse-binding rope. Dao Master, Little Sha, continue. Pull it with all your might. Seeing that the spirit of the Tiger Lady was trapped, Liao Fengyi threw the ends of the rope to the old Dao and Little Sha. Don't worry. Watch this. These two have been holding back for a while. Now that they had received orders, they put all their strength into it. This time, it was enough for the Tiger Lady to endure. No matter how much her spirit struggled, she couldn't get out. The rope was getting tighter and tighter, and her spirit seemed about to scatter. However, Liao Fengyi did not want this woman to end up like this, so he clasped his hands together and began to silently chant the soul-crossing mantra. Next, the hand signs in his hands changed, and a faint golden light seemed to gradually emit from his palms. After chanting the mantra and forming the hand signs, Liao Fengyi punched towards the body of the Tiger Lady. In fact, the force of this punch was not great, but a golden light exploded from the body of the Tiger Lady, so dazzling that people couldn't open their eyes. With this, the spirit of the Tiger Lady was forced out of the body of the second master by the golden light. However, this time the Tiger Lady, who was forced out of the body, no longer felt like a fierce ghost filled with anger and brutality. Instead, she looked like an ordinary woman. Since you are a pitiful person, I won't take you. Don't assist the wicked anymore. Reincarnate as soon as possible. Liao Fengyi made this arrangement because he felt that the tiger lady was a pitiful person, and he didn't want her to end up with her spirit scattered. Tao Master, the body has been possessed by a vicious ghost. It must be burned quickly, otherwise it will turn into a zombie. If you dare to harm people again, I will not spare you. He gave her a few warnings and no longer cared about her. After all, the anger in her body has been removed, just waiting for the ghost officials to reincarnate her. But unexpectedly, the tiger lady did not move for a long time. Her gaze never left the young man who defeated her. Why are you still here? Do you want me to beat you until your spirit scatters? After Liao Fengyi and the old Dao burned the body of the second master to ashes, he looked up and found that the tiger lady hadn't left and was still staring at him blankly. He couldn't help but get angry and threatened her. Liao Fengyi's cold eyes made the tiger lady tremble and finally brought her back to reality. But the strong-willed tiger lady began to sob at this moment.